My name is Irshad Fardan. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I moved to the Bay Area in 2008 to go to San Jose State, and then I got my master's at Santa Clara University. What I emphasized for my MBA program was leadership and management. I did a 2-year program, and I recently just graduated in June in 2020. So after I got my undergrad in 2012 in psychology, I pretty much moved up the nonprofit world. I had a couple of different positions, and I was pretty much a director for a special needs rehabilitation center locally based in Santa Clara as well. So like my old office actually was across the street from Santa Clara, and that's why I started to go around campus and I applied there. I started off as a full-time employee working as director of my department. After a year in my program, I actually stepped down to focus on my pivot because originally I originally applied for my MBA so I can pivot at a nonprofit and do something else. But I'm still connected with that organization, but not working there full-time. So my full-time job has actually not started yet because of COVID. A lot of organizations have pushed back my start date. I actually start my new job on the 19th of this month. I'm going to be going off into a sales career at E&J Gallo because in the middle of my program, I realized that sales was where I want to kind of go next. Santa Clara helped me get that job just with the connections. I found my new employer through going through all the job different sites, and there's a tight connect with that company in Santa Clara. It's a super tight-knit community. Everyone kind of knows about Santa Clara and Silicon Valley and Bay Area. Not only were there multiple opportunities to go to like job fairs, but we even had specialized job fairs just for the MBA program where it didn't, where it excluded like other majors, which was kind of cool. And then the Career Center there, they're really good at like helping you build your resume. Then your resume gets put in the database. And also on Handshake. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get exposed to like Silicon Valley and the rest of California, I would say. In my case, I was a part of 2 clubs. So I got exposed to different employers when we set up different Zoom meetings, when you got a chance to talk one-on-one with a person working in that job. And there's certain classes. So one of the clubs I was in was the Venture Capitalist Club. So we actually had outside venture capitalists come and teach the class at times, or in a lot of other classes as well, like strategies. They did have a lot of outside speakers, which was really cool. And you got to connect with, future entrepreneurs and current entrepreneurs. I personally did the Evening MBA because at the time, again, I was like working full time. So with the Evening MBA, you're most likely taking 2 classes from 5:30 to 9:30. So, you're getting off work and then you're coming over to class, and everyone had a similar schedule. Everyone was a full-time employee, and then they came to Santa Clara to finish out their MBA. It's a quite challenge depending on the, person. Obviously, most of the people of my cohort, they had families, and I think that would be a big challenge. For me, personally, I don't have a family. For me, the biggest challenge was just figuring out my schedule. So I had an uncommon job. So working for my nonprofit, I was working about 60 to 70 hours per week for my employer, which is, not normal. So for me, it was about having that balanced time of, okay, when I need to study and figure out my schedule. It was a little nerve-wracking coming into it, but once you start the program and you realize the support, not only from the instructors, but from the classmates from the get-go, you're like put in the group. And I was very fortunate that the people that I met that first day, we all kind of push each other through depending on our schedule. So it ended up being easier than like how challenging, it sounds on paper. I would describe it as one of a kind in my situation for sure. I knew, going to school in Silicon Valley, and you hear, everyone rave about Santa Clara, that it's going to benefit you for sure in the professional world. You're going to get the business skills. You're going to get that network. But what I found, it helped me way more personally than I ever thought. Having more confidence, knowing that I'm capable of doing anything I kind of want. So I got a very unique experience that I would, you can't trade. Can't take that back. As far as success, I feel like, if you really want to challenge yourself and get the most out of, going for your graduate, degree, I'd highly recommend Santa Clara. Not only are the classes very challenging, but like it just gives you a really good perspective of what opportunities are out there. And going into it, especially with my background, you hear about it being a Jesuit school. I was actually born Muslim, and I got so much support, so much diversity. They definitely welcome all different cultures, and I felt so accepted like going there, and it was just quite a beautiful experience. For me, so like, obviously the first impression you get of the school is researching it, hearing that testimonies, and growing up, you often, at least in America, you often like get a little nervous about being in a different environment or a different like culture, so like I had never personally been around so many people that were Christian based or so of the opposite religion. So I was a little nervous in the beginning, like, okay, am I going to get accepted? Am I going to make friends? But it ended up, working out quite well. And they actually have different resources on campus that support all different like, ethnic backgrounds or religions, which was really cool. It was worth it for me. It taught me, I guess, what I was capable of. From my background, it was definitely rough, kind of often being told I can't do something, or like, why are you doing that? Or kind of like a lot of critics. And one thing my dad always told me, get your education. That's something they can't take it away from you. So for me, it was always like a personal connection. Like when I get this, I'm going to be more confident, but my main thing is that I want to inspire other people that, often, aren't looked at, okay, as someone that can get their master's. And for me, it's like I was able to inspire a lot of people that I didn't know I could. So it brought just a lot of confidence and leadership component. It enhanced the skills I already have. And I found out other skills I didn't know I had. More self-worth. There's so many good ones. My favorite professor had to been, I would say Jo Ellen Posner. I hope I'm getting that right. It was between her and Barry Posner. The reason is just the way they created the classroom environment, the culture. It was just very, you got very comfortable just kind of like participating in it, They challenged you in a certain way. They didn't cut you any slack, but at the same time they were understanding the situation in a way. But my main thing is like for my last class, I was a little nervous because COVID had hit and everyone went online. But Jo Ellen, she actually, like, the way she organized the class and got everyone to participate, I thought it was very beautiful. How quickly? I would say fairly quickly. I think they're one of the fastest responded schools in the area. They had quickly shut down. Classes had went, online. I guess it went virtual because I took an online class before and it's definitely different. So like it went virtual. So just more Zoom. They adapted the course load and made it like manageable. So it wasn't as hard as, they didn't give you like extra work in a way. They tried to make it as exactly like you were in class, and they encouraged people to like talk and still network, which I thought was really cool. In the beginning, definitely with my workload and me trying to balance, I didn't go to school for about 6 years because I took like a little break. So I was really invested in, into working, and I would, essays or like, being applied was like kind of hard. You kind of lost that skill. So that first quarter was definitely quite challenging, just getting the balance with like workload and stuff. And then of course you're taking classes that they're assigning to you and not like the classes you pick. So like for me, taking finances or accounting and stuff like that, that was something I was not too familiar with. What helped me is that I would say before the program, I saw myself as a lone wolf. I didn't see the importance of like branching out, asking for help. Asking for help is kind of like you're weak. But as soon as I started to kind of let the community and let my resources kind of like help me, that's what kind of helped me get out of, being lost, realizing that my friend, I'm smart in some ways, he's smart. And when we come together, we're helping each other out. but also going to talk to the instructors right after. They'll wait however long it takes, after class. And a lot of them have their own businesses, and they'll wait and make sure you're supported. So for me, Bronco is just, it's like the top of like that chain. It's like a stronger horse. It's very fierce. A Bronco is not afraid to, make a mistake or go for what they want. They'll hit everything in stride, learn in every moment, and use it to make, help them make them successful. You want to be in Bronco, and this is coming from my undergrad is the rival, and I had to kind of accept, like, I'm going to the rival school, but now I tell everyone I am a Spartan Rhino and a Bronco. And they did go together. ROI for me, again, I got that self-worth and that confidence. So I do value that a lot. And knowing that over time, I am going to get my overall ROI, for what my education was. Obviously graduating during the time of COVID is kind of like hard to kind of like judge that. Some of my friends were able to get a job quick. Some of them, their start dates got pushed back. But I would say like education is kind of one of those things you make a choice to go for that. And that I have no doubt over time, depending on what you want to do with it, you will get your, ROI from like the degree from Santa Clara. I would say it definitely changed the way I thought a lot, especially coming from my small, nonprofit kind of like mind state to now thinking overall like big picture. It just helped me kind of understand, especially leadership wise, what do I need to do to like get over the hump to be the leader that I want to be. And that failure is like, okay, for me, it's like one of my biggest fears was I never wanted to fail. I never wanted to make a mistake. But it kind of taught me like, especially listening to all these different entrepreneurs, they had to like go through that failure to even know what success was. I would say like be as open-minded as possible. You're going to get a lot of opportunities. There's going to be a lot of challenge, of course, maybe a little adversity. But just be as much open-minded and kind of let the community accept you and understand, always know your why. As long as you know your why, it'll help you kind of like keep pushing like forward. You want to be a Bronco? I would just say, again, I just want to like really touch on like, you can go to any business school, right? And get that business concept, how to start a business or whatever your reason is. But know that whatever community you're going to be a part of, that's going to have a huge impact on your experience and like your way of life. So I definitely got the personal component I got from it was just extremely huge, and it definitely changed the way I like look at life. And I'm generally more happier, more confident. And I would just say, definitely base the college you want on like the community more than like the things you would learn.